Ellen Pompeo talks about why she can't fully step away from Grey's Anatomy. Ellen Pompeo may have stepped away from starring in the long-running Grey's Anatomy, but she can't completely stay away. The actress sat down with Elle Pace to talk about her new show, Good American Family, only to inevitably discuss the show that defines her career. Pompeo puts her reasoning plain and simple: that would make no sense, emotionally or financially. The actress is also a producer on the show that was the most streamed show of 2024, second only to Australian children's cartoon Bluey. While she doesn't appear in any episodes of the show anymore, Pompeo provides narration as Meredith Grey. The companies that own the show and stream the show make a lot of money from our images and our voices and our faces. Pompeo said, "If I were to walk away completely, everybody gets to make money from my hard work for 20 years, and I wouldn't make any money." Grey's Anatomy is currently in its 21st season and averages roughly 2.2 million viewers per episode. To me, it doesn't make any sense that everybody else gets to profit off of my hard work, Pompeo continued. And emotionally, the show means a lot to people. I want to have an attitude of gratitude toward the show. Pompeo won't move on due to potential financial loss, but she does want to move on from the character of Meredith Grey. She also has no interest in doing another broadcast show due to season-length commitments. However, she does think it's possible for her to find something exciting and new, even as she ages gracefully in the entertainment industry. When you're really young in Hollywood, you're hired for your talent, but also for your beauty, Pompeo adds. They're not hiring you for your beauty at 50 years old, they're hiring you for your complexity and your talent alone. Certainly, women are more complex and interesting as they get older, and so are the roles. Good American Family currently airs on Hulu. Based on the story of Natalia Grace, the show follows a couple that adopts a child with dwarfism who is not who she seems. The 8-episode limited series also stars Mark Duplass and Imogen Faith Reed. The Los Angeles sun is warm on Ellen Pompeo's shoulders as she sits at a small cafe in West Hollywood, sunglasses perched casually on her nose. It's been over a year since she officially stepped back from her full-time role as Dr. Meredith Grey on Grey's Anatomy. But somehow, the name still follows her like a shadow, and she's not running from it. "I still hear it," she says with a soft laugh, stirring her iced matcha. Dr. Grey, in airports, grocery stores, even at my kids' school drop-off. It's part of me now. Meredith isn't just a role I played, she's someone I carried for 2 decades. There's a deep-rooted truth in that statement. Since Grey's Anatomy premiered in 2005, Pompeo has been its beating heart. Through plane crashes, ferry accidents, bomb scares, pandemics, love stories, and heartbreaks, she stood at the center of the chaos, stitching up wounds both literal and metaphorical. And while she technically left the show in season 19, she never really disappeared. "I don't think people realize that even when you're not on screen, your connection to something that monumental doesn't go away," she says. "It's like trying to leave behind a part of yourself." She leans in, lowering her sunglasses slightly, her eyes reflecting something between nostalgia and quiet responsibility. "I didn't just play Meredith," she continues. "I became her. Her pain, her resilience, her growth. It mirrored my own life in so many ways. When I was grieving, Meredith was grieving. When I was raising a family, she was too. It's not just a character. It's a journey we went on together." Pompeo's gradual stepping back from the long-running medical drama wasn't abrupt. It was thoughtful, meticulous, and, as she puts it, a dance between holding on and letting go. She wanted to explore new creative spaces, focus more on producing, and be present for her family. But even with a reduced presence on screen, she remained a producer and a voice behind the scenes. "I remember thinking, okay, this is the right time to shift gears," she says. "But then the phone rings, and it's the writers wanting input, or a scene they want me to narrate. And suddenly I'm back in Meredith's shoes, whispering into the fabric of the show like I never left. It's not an obligation, it's a connection. I still feel protective over Grey's," Pompeo admits. "We built something rare, something that changed television. It gave representation, depth, and emotion to characters who weren't always seen in primetime. I can't just walk away from that and pretend it doesn't matter. That sentiment is echoed in her recent cameos on the show. Every time Meredith returns, whether it's in a hospital hallway or a voiceover that brings a scene to life, it's met with fanfare. Viewers light up social media with gratitude, like an old friend stopping by after a long journey. "I see the posts," she says, smiling. "Come back, Ellen. It's not Grays without Gray. It's humbling, honestly. And it reminds me why I still keep a foot in the door." Behind her calm exterior, there's an unmistakable pride in what Grey's Anatomy has become. A show that was initially a mid-season replacement bloomed into a cultural touchstone with a global fan base. Pompeo not only led that charge as an actress, but also helped steer it behind the scenes. She fought for equitable pay, championed inclusivity, and set a new standard for women leading television dramas. "That's part of why I can't fully step away," she explains, "because it wasn't just about acting. It was about shaping an environment where people, especially women, felt seen, valued, and heard. That work isn't finished." And even as she ventures into new creative territories, developing projects under her production banner and exploring other genres, Grey's Anatomy still pulses in the background like a familiar heartbeat. She sips her drink thoughtfully. "Every time I read a script, I still think, what would Meredith do? That instinct hasn't gone away. Probably never will." Pompeo is candid about the toll 2 decades on a network show can take, on your time, your energy, even your sense of self. But she also talks about the gifts, lifelong friendships, artistic growth, and the chance to portray a woman whose flaws and brilliance were never mutually exclusive. Meredith wasn't perfect. She was messy, stubborn, brilliant, vulnerable. And that's why people connected with her. We all have a little Meredith in us. When asked if she sees herself returning full-time to the show, Pompeo doesn't offer a definitive answer. "Never say never," she muses. "I'm not writing anything off. I still love the world we created. And if there's a story worth telling, one that feels right, I'd be open." She pauses for a moment, watching a couple pass by, their toddler wearing tiny scrubs with Dr. Gray stitched on the back. "See," she laughs, "I can't escape her. But I don't want to." In many ways, Ellen Pompeo is a paradox, ready to move on, but unwilling to let go, seeking new paths, yet deeply rooted in the soil of a legacy that reshaped her career and television itself. "I've spent the better part of my adult life in that hospital," she reflects. "It's in my DNA now, and as long as Grey's Anatomy is telling stories, I'll always be part of its story, even if I'm just the voice in the background, reminding everyone that life is messy, beautiful, and worth fighting for." She smiles, sunlight catching the edge of her glasses. Meredith Grey may not be in every scene anymore, but she's never gone. Not really. Want this in a more journalistic style, an interview format, or something totally different like a fictionalized version of Ellen returning to Grey Sloan?